What is going on, everybody? My name is Keenan Costain, and welcome back to another episode of Hornets Recaps. And on today's episode, we'll be talking about the Charlotte Hornets victory against the Utah Jazz, winning 150 to 95. Yes, you heard me, 150 to 95 on the road. What an unbelievable game that was the other night on Saturday on January the 10th. So without further ado, let's take a look at some things from this game. So Grant Williams made his return on the Charlotte Hornets the other night against the Utah Jazz. Again, the score being 150 to 95. And Grant Williams stat lines with this 9 points and 8 rebounds in 14 minutes of court time. And let's just say that he changed the outlook of this game, having another big man on the team than Musa Diabate doing all the heavy work. So that really helped a lot when it came to the big man rotation. And also in this game, Ryan Kalkbrenner made his return, playing in 23 minutes of court time, 12 points, and 9 rebounds, making it a huge presence for a big man that we desperately needed, the Charlotte Hornets desperately needed. And right out the gate in the first quarter, winning 45 to 14 in that quarter, dominating the Utah Jazz. Despite the fact the Utah Jazz were missing Lauri Markkanen and Yusuf Nurkic right there on the floor, so two big men that the Jazz were missing at last night, and with Lauri Markkanen taking some time to rest, according to reports from the other night, so that was a huge loss for Utah. And what can I say about this performance right here? Well, looking at the stats, you had a 52.5% field goal percentage to 40.9% for Utah, 40.7 3-point percentage, which is 59 attempted 3 points and 24 3 points made for Charlotte, 7 for 31 3-point percentage, which is a 22.6%, and the free throw percentage winning that category an 80%, 20 for 25 for Charlotte, 16 for 21 for Utah, 76.2%. The total rebounds were between offensive and defenses, making 65 to 31. The assist numbers 35 for Charlotte, 20 for Utah, 5 blocks to Utah's 2, 12 turnovers for Charlotte, 15 for Utah. Points off turnovers, 24 to 12. Charlotte winning that category. 28 to 14, 56 to 50 for Charlotte wins that one in the points in the paint. And time for points per possession, I should say, 1.44 to 0.94 for Utah. And the personal fouls was the 21 to 18. Utah winning that category. And the largest lead of the game being 57 points. Now with LaMelo Ball coming off the bench against the Indiana Pacers last game, and in this game he had a starting role in this game, having 17 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, and only 23 minutes of court time. Now with the blowout like it is score-wise, the Hornets roster was able to get a certain amount of minutes and even the playing field, which was a huge sight to see with all players playing in this contest. And you got to see guys like Trey Mann, like I said, Ryan Kalkbrenner and Grant Williams were able to make their returns and from injury over the last few weeks. And back to Trey Mann though. He was able to come in and right off the bench he was able to contribute his stat line in a much better way, having 20 points in 12 minutes of court time off the bench. And that was huge for his confidence. And we'll see what happens with Trey Mann going forward. Will he get more minutes? Will he decide to get more minutes and rotation due to the performance that he made the other night? We'll see. And finally, I want to talk about Brandon Miller. So he's been getting better as of late. In the last game against Utah, he had 18 points, in 22 minutes of court time, 4 rebounds and 4 assists. And he's starting to find his footing in the rotation as well. He's finally able to get the starts that he deserves. And yeah, and with this team, they're just getting a lot better health wise, which I'm really happy to see. Can they keep that up? We'll see what happens with that. And like I said in the last video, with the change coming in Charlotte with this squad, I didn't expect it to be like this. No way, being a team by 55, which is the largest road win in team history, and the second largest victory in team history. And the first being over 60 points against the Grizzlies back in 2018. So that was way before we had Brandon Miller, LaMelo Ball, Grant Williams, Con Knipple, Trey Mann. It was a totally different squad 8 years ago when it came to the margin of victory for the Charlotte Hornets. So to wrap this thing up, in conclusion, I'm really happy with the team's performance, with the youth that they have on their roster right now, the health, the dominant performance, the comeback after the heartbreaking losses by 2 or less points in the last 3 or 4 games. So that is pretty promising to see. And can they keep this momentum up against the Los Angeles Clippers tonight at 10:30 Eastern Time in LA? That's going to be tough to do during this West Coast trip in Los Angeles. So we'll see what happens with that. So that'll do it for another episode of Hornets Recaps. I know it's another short video than I usually do, but again, it certainly helps when the team wins by 55 points. And let's see if they can keep this momentum going with the roster that they currently have. And yeah, that's about it for me. This is Keenan Costain signing off. And until next time, have a good one. Bye, y'all.